What happens when you take the book that's in your mind and you put it on the screen? Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizard of the Reads, and as always guys, I am Andrew, and today I got another video for you, but before we get to that video, make sure you're liking and subscribing, hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. Also, make sure you're checking that description box down below for the link to the Wizard Duo Discord, as well as links to all my social media and information about my Patreon. And that said guys, today's video is kind of 10 series and or books that I would love to see adapted in various forms of media. I will be talking about what form of media I would like that to be in. One of the rules that I did here is that it cannot already have existing adaptations. So that, rules out Discworld, that rules out, even though The Watch is not good, it rules out The Dark Tower, even though the movie wasn't good. So, even if these have failed adaptations, I have not included them on this list. These are properties that, as far as I know, have no adaptations, and I would just love to see something done with these, because I think it could be truly awesome. And yes, I know a lot of you are going to yell at me that I did not include Mistborn or the Stormlight Archive on here. It's a given, guys. It's just a given. These are ones that, there may not be a whole lot of conversation around it. And I just kind of wanted to talk about them. So starting off, honestly, this author, his work is very adaptable, in my opinion. And that's Larry Correia. And we've got Hard Magic here, which is the first book in the Grim Noir Chronicles, which is a completed trilogy, which I think everything I've got here is either a standalone or a completed series, or soon-to-be completed series. But, this is like a noir set in, alternate history, 1920s. We've seen this with, A Man in the High Castle. Kind of has that tone where it's, an alternate history type deal. Just learned a little bit of magical elements, a little bit of CGI. And as, a Netflix limited TV series, don't 3 seasons. 3 seasons and done. Or, a limited series of, just a couple seasons. Write the script and then just let it go. I think this could be really awesome because this is still one of my favorite trilogies. When I discovered this in hardcover, I lost my mind because I've been wanting it for a while. And so the way that this world is, it's 1920s, it's grim, it's got that kind of, I picture it with that kind of Sin City, black and white, kind of just sepia tone. I could have completely gotten that wrong, but whatever. That's what I picture this as, and I think it would be awesome to get a Larry Correia Hard Magic Grim Noir Chronicles TV show on a streaming service. And then speaking of a mini-series, this would be good as a mini-series or a film. I could see it as a film, but I think a Stars or something mini-series would be really, really great for this one. And that's Adrian Tchaikovsky's Guns of the Dawn. This is very adaptable, and I think it could work as a mini-series because, it is a bit of a beefier book. And when you run into those beefier books, you run into the problem of just cutting content and being left dissatisfied with what's going on here. And so there is enough here where it's kind of got that Edwardian Regency type deal, but it's also got that Band of Brothers things. It's got a strong female protagonist. I'm picturing something along the lines of Outlander or something like that with just a little bit more magic involved. And I think this could work as a mini-series, guys. I think it would be fantastic. And at any point in time when you're watching these videos, you can drop into the comments down below and let me know what series you think would be best adapted. That said, I'm going to continue on with Long Price Quartet by Daniel Abraham. Now, I know he's already been adapted in The Expanse. However, that's with Ty Frank as James S.A. Corey. And I don't think any of his work, his solo work, has been adapted. And this would take a special kind of creative mind. Because the way Daniel Abraham does this is it's all planned out from the beginning. And you have to get somebody who's not willing to take liberties with the source material. Or, you can take, a creative license, but, the core has to stay the same. Everything happens in a specific way for a specific reason. And once you start messing with stuff, you start messing with the Rube Goldberg, and you may end up with just falling flat on your face. So this one would take a specific creator who is willing to stick to the source material and make sure it is faithfully adapted. This is one that I think would need a particular, it requires a lot of attention to detail. Let's just go into that, because if you just change like one or two things and like you start altering these people's lives, you don't end up in the same result as what you end up with in The Price of Spring. And so it's very important when adapting LPQ that you pay attention. Alright, and I think this one would be fun. And you could probably do just a 5-season run of this. But Bloodsong by Anthony Ryan, I think this could work. Valen Alsorna is enough of a titular character. He's awesome. And then you can go from a single POV to a multi-POV, just like this trilogy does. But then you could go back to a single POV because there's a follow-up duology. There's 5 books of source material to pull from, and I think that could really work. You just have this explosive pilot episode of Valen's origins and the battle school, an hour and a half just cinematic pilot episode, and then you jump into the rest of the series where you're just dealing with him as the battle lord and all sorts of crap. I think that would be action-packed and totally awesome. I would love to see this adapted. And then surprising absolutely nobody, I would love to see The Faithful and The Fallen adapted and put on the silver screen as a TV show. I don't want movies about this. I think Netflix could do a good job with this because they did Bernard Cornwell's The Last Kingdom. I think something in the vein of Malice would be even better. Or you could do HBO Max, because HBO Max, or HBO in general, I guess, did a Game of Thrones, and when I'm picturing the giants from Faithful and the Fallen, I picture the giants from Game of Thrones in my head, and I think that would be super cool. Plus, with the wolves and everything, you could claim it's it's a Song of Ice and Fire clone if it's doing an adaptation. But I think that this would be different enough that it would be really, really good. Because, A, you don't have as many character deaths. John Gwynne is willing to kill off characters, but not at the rate that George R.R. Martin is willing to do so. Unless, it's a big climactic battle. In that case, maybe. But I think Faithful and the Fallen is just rife and ready to be adapted to, one of those pay-per-view type of streaming services like HBO Max is. And then, speaking of, Netflix or, Paramount or Apple or Amazon, I would love to see my buddy Daniel Barnett's Nightmare Land Chronicles adapted. These are novellas. There are 5 novellas and then a 6th full-length novel. The first arc is done, and I know there's going to be another arc of another 6 books. But I still think that, there's enough framework here that a good horror TV show, Rob Zombie could kill this. I think Rob Zombie could kill this, and I would love to see him do it, because it's so visceral, and it punches such a strong, I want it. I want that. I don't even like horror TV, and I want this, and I need it. Please give this to me. Please. I don't ask for a whole lot. I just ask for one adaptation. In fact, if I had to scream from the rooftops to have any one thing on this list adapted, it would be this. Mainly because it gets me where I live. It's just thinking about this adapted makes me happy, and I need it. Guys, if you're out there, write your local network, do something. Let's get this adapted, because it'll be amazing. It would just be fantastic. And it could be expanded upon, and we could explore a little bit more. You could inject episodes in there, and it would still feel great. Nightmare Land Chronicles is just perfect. And it could make people cry, I think. Now, this one I think would be a good movie. Big screen, Children of Time, Adrian Tchaikovsky. It's got some elements that people might deem as creepy, but at the same time, it's got those big brain ideas, kind of like 2001: A Space Odyssey in that same vein. I think this would be fantastic on the big screen. And, or, I mean, I guess you could do a limited series with it as well, kind of like in the same vein as The Expanse. I think this would end up being better than The Expanse, though. Personally, I think that this book outshines any of the Expanse books that I've read so far, and so I think this would be an even better adaptation. Alright, we got 3 more. And remember to comment down below your ideas on what should be adapted, or if you agree with me. It's key. Alright, Joe Abercrombie's The Blade itself, or The First Law World. We've got 9 books to pull from in multiple generations. That's so cool, because we could go off and do side quests, we could go off and do like spin-offs and things of that nature, or limited series set within this world, because we've got the standalone trilogy, which could each be its own limited series. We've got, of course, we could do like Glocta as the main character, or like Logan Nine Fingers, or something like that, or we could do a rotating multi-POV story, which would be really cool in the First Law World. It's gritty, but it's got an interesting enough world where we could really pull in viewers with an expansive world. I think this would be good. I think this would be a banger. And then, of course, for my anime, I think this would be a great animated show. Will White's Cradle series. I don't think there's any way to do this where, like live action, no. Just no. Don't do it. Don't try it. Please leave it alone. Make this an animated series, an anime, what have you. Hell, I would read this as a manga, but we're talking like film adaptation. So I think an animated movie or an animated series would be fantastic for this. I just want to see an animated Orthos, or an animated Dross, or an animated Yaren, Ethan. I just need it. I need this in my life. And this is one of the ones where it's not quite completed, but within the next 12 months, it would be completed. And animation takes such a long time that by the time that it would be ready, this would be done. All right, and finally, the last one is one that is near and dear to my heart. And this could also have like multiple spin-offs for very good reasons, because it's got 9 core books, a quartet, and a trilogy of something else. And that can only really be one series, right? And that is The Realm of the Elderlings. I think The Realm of the Elderlings is perfect for a TV universe. There is so much that you can do. These books are beefy. There's a lot of material you can pull from. There are 9 Fitz books. There are 4 Rain Wild books. You could create a TV universe here that spans like a decade and a half very, very easily. I think it would be perfect. Well, maybe not a decade and a half. At least 10 years of good TV could be pulled from The Realm of the Elderlings, and I don't know why they haven't done it yet. That said, guys, that is all 10 of the series/books that I think could be adapted very easily to TV, movie, animation, or streaming services. Let me know what you thought of my picks, and please give me some of your own, and I might do a follow-up video if I agree with you guys. So that said, guys, till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.